Meet Roland. Roland is an immigrant from Lebanon who came to the United States in 2019 and thought to himself, you know what this country really needs? A burger joint dedicated to Donald J. Trump. So he opened up Trump Burgers in Texas. Where else? With Trump flags everywhere and Trump branded buns and MAGA merch. It was basically QAnon themed in and out. And he actually did pretty good for himself. He was even opening up new locations as recently as 2024. Fast forward to 2025, and ICE shows up. Not to thank him for his support. They basically knocked on the door and said, hey, Roland, get in the fucking van. You see, he thought he was safe because he's a permanent resident, but they revoked his green card. Now he's facing deportation under the same exact Trump policies that he was out here celebrating not that long ago.
The co-owner of Trump Burger is getting his green card revoked and is now set to be deported.
Let me get this straight. You're so obsessed with Donald Trump. You decided to leave your country in 2019, set up shop in Texas on a non-immigrant visa. You decided to become a business owner and build franchises of a burger joint called Trump's Burger. And at first when I guess I read too fast because I thought this was Donald Trump's business. Come to find out, Donald Trump is not associated with this at all, nor does he probably even know that man exists. I'm just curious, by calling this business Trump's Burger, did you think it would win the American people over, like they wouldn't view you as the immigrant you are? Did you think that you would have a proximity to whiteness, or maybe Trump by chance would notice you? Got you nowhere, sweetheart, but a sweet ticket back to your country, because ICE is trying to deport you. They said they don't care nothing about your political stance. You are considered an illegal immigrant, and you got to go.
So the man who created Trump Burger is potentially facing deportation. The Lebanese immigrant. Lebanese immigrant. Roland Bainey had a sham marriage. FAFO. My thing is the fact that immigrants were under the impression that they can outwork racism is the funny part to me. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious, because now they're looking and saying, oh shit, black people weren't lying. Racism actually exists. Yes, it does. It just comes in different forms, so it's hard for everybody to tell. But just because your skin is a few shades lighter, they don't like you either. And for the fact that you were selling a $100 burger, you might deserve this, because that's criminal.
The fact that a Trump superfan who owns Trump Burger is facing deportation shows just how much Donald Trump cares about his own supporters. Roland Bainey started Trump Burger in 2020 and even set aside his own profits to help Trump fundraise. But now Trump's ICE has arrested him, claiming that he's overstayed his visa, and also they're questioning his marriage status, which he claims gives him legal residency. Here's what Bainey had to say about the charges against him. He said that 90% of the shit they're saying is not true. He's also scheduled for a hearing in immigration court on November 18th. You know, I really wouldn't be surprised if 90% of the shit they're saying is not true, because ICE is rounding up US-born citizens and legal immigrants on a regular basis. This article also points out other pro-Trump immigrants who have been caught up in the mass deportation agenda. This proves that when he says deport them all, he really means it. Even if you voted for him, are here legally, were a born US citizen, or put his face on your restaurant walls. This is a very harsh reminder that supporting policies that target people you don't like doesn't automatically make you immune from them.
Oh man, you are gonna love this one. The owner of Trump Burger in Texas, he's officially on the deportation menu. Roland Bainey, the guy who slapped Trump's name on a burger and tried to ride that MAGA wave straight to the bank, is now facing removal proceedings from the country he built his entire identity around. And why? Because apparently, the marriage that got him his green card might have been faker than the patriotism on his menu. USCIS says he and his wife never even lived together. No shared home, no life, just paperwork, MAGA merch, and grift sauce on the side. But wait, it gets even better. His Kmart location, evicted by the landlord, and then reopened under a new name, MAGA Burger USA. They didn't just take his building, they took his whole shtick and fucking ran with it. So now this bootlicking burger boy is stuck waiting for a November immigration hearing while someone else sells Trump-branded burgers out of the place he got kicked out of. That's not just karma, that's a combo meal of consequences. I fucking love it. You wanted to play MAGA mascot? Well, congratulations, Roland. You fucked around and now you're about to find out.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for your support and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So let's talk about Roland Bainey, the man behind Trump's Burger in Texas. This is the same guy who decorated his burger joints with MAGA signs, named menus items after DT, and even hosted DT impersonators to entertain customers. His restaurants became known as a place where conservative politics and cheeseburger came together on the same plate. He didn't just sell food, he sold an image, a brand, and a political statement, and he did it proudly. So let's get to the videos, but before, let me play a few clips on the same issue and I'll be back with my own commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of each and every video you see here.
Poor Roland really thought that he was one of the good ones. And I don't know when these pro-MAGA immigrants are going to get it. Trump's immigration policy is not going to skip you because you put his face on a combo meal. He literally ran on mass deportations. He called immigrants animals. He said they're poisoning the blood of America. They're invading. This is what he said about you. But maybe Roland thought, he's not talking about me. I did it the right way. I imagine that right about now, Roland is finding out that it was never about doing it the right way. It was never about legal or illegal immigration. And it's always been about maintaining that white majority. You know what makes it worse is that Roland's landlord took over one of his Trump burger locations and named it MAGA Burgers USA. He's getting deported and gentrified all at the same time. Poor Roland was out here around serving Trump combos, and they thanked him by serving him the Find Out Burger with cheese.
Breaking news. The man that founded a Trump burger is about to face deportation from United States. His name is Roland Bainey. He is a 28 years old Lebanese man or Lebanese national who came to United States in 2019 and was supposed to leave United States in 2024 because his visa, he came on a visitor visa, on a non-immigrant visitor visa, and that was supposed to expire in 2024. But he overstayed that visa. Because of that, he was arrested by the ICE for overstaying his visa, and he was granted bond in June 2025. But at the moment, he's waiting for the immigration proceedings, which is going to occur in November 18, 2025. Roland Bainey is the owner of a restaurant in Houston who founded a Trump burger in 2020. Allegedly, he sought for a legal status through what is called a sham marriage, but that was denied because of insufficient evidence for cohabitation. Even the family he was about to marry from has termed that marriage as being fraudulent, hence that wasn't granted. So at the moment, he's awaiting court orders or court proceedings, which is going to occur in a few months' time.
I guarantee you this is going to be the most hilarious and insane story that you hear today. There's this burger chain here in the great state of Texas that goes by the name of Trump Burger. And in a case of beautiful cosmic karma, the owner of this place is getting deported by ICE. We'll check out how he got picked up by Christy the Face Gnome, and then I'll show you guys how Trump Burger MAGA is falling apart at the seams in the best way possible. Go ahead and subscribe to Really American, and let's jump right into it. Sorry, being MAGA isn't going to protect you. I've actually laid eyes on one of these places myself. Here's a picture that I took of one of these cult temples known as Trump Burger MAGA. Clearly, this Biani guy realized that you can make a lot of money off of people's idiotic obsession with the orange man, and they have cashed in by opening 4 locations here in Texas, mostly in small towns, but one of them in Houston as well. The one that I saw in Flatonia, Texas, had a suspicious SS tiled into the walls here. I'm not sure what that's about, but I think you can put 2 and 2 together. Now here's some details on the story behind the scenes, and it is extra hilarious because it turns out there's a whole litany of legal issues that led to the crumbling of this business. First, we'll talk about Donald Trump himself and the Trump administration cracking down on this burger place by hitting them with a cease and desist. The letter stated, "We were surprised to learn that you have been flagrantly infringing upon the Trump organization's valuable and well-established intellectual property right by operating at least 3 restaurants under the Trump name and brand." The letter included a reference to the Trump Burger location in Flatonia. That's the one that I saw. This use risks misleading the public into falsely believing that your business is affiliated with the Trump organization or endorsed by our clients, the letter went on to say. It also demanded a full accounting of all revenues generated directly or indirectly from your unlawful use of the Trump name, brand, or trademark. So it looks like Trump himself is going to crack down and take these guys for everything they made. The letter concluded by saying the Trump organization would pursue legal action if no action was taken. I got a sinking suspicion that somebody working for the Trump organization was the one that tipped ICE off as to the owner's legal status. The Record reached out to the Trump organization this week to see if they ever came to any agreement with Trump Burger. They did not respond. Now, one of the other major legal issues that this burger chain is facing is who owns it to begin with. The original creator of Trump Burger was a man named Ayed Abu El Hawa, who changed his name to Eddie Hawa, probably in an attempt to sound more American.
Fun fact, the owner of Trump Burger, a MAGA-themed burger franchise in Texas, was arrested by ICE and is now facing deportation for overstaying his visa. Trump Burger, which featured a MAGA-inspired menu like the Trump Tower Burger, the Trump Burger, the First Lady Chicken Sandwich, as well as buns that were stamped with Trump's name, was opened in 2020 by Lebanese immigrant Roland Merezbiani, who entered the US in 2019 on a 5-year non-immigrant visitor visa. But Trump Burger has no association to Donald Trump, and the Trump organization actually sent Roland a cease and desist letter after he opened his 3rd location, saying if he didn't change the name of his restaurants, they would sue. But that was only the start of Roland's legal troubles, because he was arrested on May 16th for overstaying his visa. Roland had been trying to extend his visa and in January applied for a green card through marriage, but the US Citizenship and Immigration Service denied the application, calling the marriage a fraud since they could find no evidence that Roland and the woman he said was his wife were living together. Roland is awaiting a court date to decide whether or not he'll stay in the US.
Here's where the story takes a wild turn. Roland came to the US in 2019 on a visa which required him to leave by February 2024. He didn't leave. Instead, he stayed, ran his business, and kept building his DT-deemed empire. Then in May 2025, ICE, yes, the same immigration enforcement agency that DT supporters often praise, came knocking. They arrested him for overstaying his visa and placed him on deportation proceedings. Now here's the kicker. The Department of Homeland Security said Roland also tried to get a green card through a fraudulent marriage. They claim his own relatives admitted the marriage was a setup to get legal residency. He of course denies most of these allegations, saying 90% of what's out there is not true. But the point remains, this man who tied his brand to DT's image is now facing deportations under the very system DT expanded. You can't ignore the irony here. DT built his political career on tough immigration enforcement, the kind that doesn't care if you are flipping burgers for his fans or waving the MAGA flag. Under these policies, the law doesn't bend for political loyalty. ICE statements even made clear that staying enforcement applies regardless of what restaurants you own or political beliefs you might have. Translation: your red hat isn't a free pass. Public reaction to this has been all over the places. Some people are laughing at the hypocrisy, pointing out that Roland is now learning the hard way that supporting policies without thinking about how they affect you can backfire. Others are more sympathetic, saying it's a shame that a small business owner might lose everything. But for a lot of folks, especially immigrants who have been on the receiving end of these policies, it's hard to ignore the poetic justice. And there's a bigger lesson here. When you support politicians or policies, you're not just voting for an image or a slogan. You're voting for the actual laws and consequences that come with them. Immigration laws don't magically become softer just because you're a supporter. If anything, they hit harder because they are designed to be applied without exception. So here we are. Roland, the DT Burger King, is waiting for his next immigration hearing in November 2025. Will he be allowed to stay, or will he be sent back to Lebanon? Either way, this story is a reminder. Politics is not just something you watch from the sideline. It's something that can walk into your business, put you in handcuffs, and change your life overnight. Let me know your thoughts about the whole video, the whole issue. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.